Hello DHS, and welcome to your first episode of Tabi 204. I'm here with Assistant Principal Mr. Coogan, and today we'll be covering the Clubs and Activities Exposition, which took place in the cafeteria during lunch on Thursday, September 14th. Hello Mr. Coogan, thank you so much for being here and being my first guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What exactly is the Clubs and Activities Exhibition? Like, when did it start? How did it start?
Yeah, so it started a few years ago, and the idea would be that it's a chance to kind of really showcase the vast range of clubs that we have here at the school, and also to give students a chance to kind of interact, remove some of the barriers for them to be able to kind of meet the leadership of the clubs, sign up, figure out when they're meeting, so that people could get more involved.
That makes sense. I know my freshman year, I signed up for almost every club I saw. Really seeing what was in front of you, it was an incentive to get involved. Now, what type of activities does DHS offer?
Yeah, I mean, we offer
general,
like a great spectrum from, we've got some academic clubs like National Honor Society or service clubs like the Key Club, but then we also have clubs that are kind of focused on activities, whether it be like fishing club, or even we just started this year a rock climbing club that's getting started, which is going to be kind of neat.
Oh,
so
wow.
different chances for students to get involved in things that they're passionate about or want to dedicate more time to.
Wow, how many clubs in total would you guess that there are? I've heard so many.
So we have about 40 that are actively meeting, and then there are a few that have been there in the past but are kind of taking a year off or two. So
Okay.
the number is right around 40 different clubs.
Which club, if you had to make a decision, was your favorite out of all of them?
I can't say that I have a favorite, but I always joke that the fishing club has the most energy of any of the clubs. They are.
I'm sure they'd be very
You'd be surprised
enthusiastic.
to see how many people are actually involved, and they do a really good job of not only engaging in the sport of fishing, but they also do a lot of work with Mr. Tweedy on the conservation aspect. So making sure that they are doing sustainable activities in the water, but also raising money to support sustainability locally, which is really
Well,
good.
that sounds wonderful and very impactful. Now, are students able to create clubs on their own?
Absolutely, yeah. So the rock climbing club is a good example where a student approached me about an interest that they had picked up over the summer, and they thought it would be a good thing to kind of explore. And so we managed to find some other similar like-minded people, and we're able to get it running. So the requirements for starting a club at Dartmouth High School is you need to have 10 people to sign up and an advisor. If you're unsure of an advisor, we can find one. We can reach out and kind of help. So it's really just about making sure we have enough people to get the activity going, and then someone to lead and kind of direct from an adult side of things. So.
Wow. So if a student was looking to start their own club, what would they need? Would they contact you or the principal?
They would reach out to me, and we could kind of talk through it. Sometimes we already have a club that operates in that same space, and so I might make a suggestion to hook you up with that club and see if it is what you're looking for or not before we go off and do our own thing. But more often than not, if it's something that's new, then we brainstorm, okay, who could be an advisor? Do you have any ideas? Do you need me to help you find somebody? And then it's just a matter of getting the paperwork and everything straightened out. So I take care of all that.
Cool. Besides the rock climbing club and a couple other that you've mentioned, how many new clubs have been created so far?
Yeah, so this is my second year here, and so we started 3 last year, and we already have 2 this year, and it's only the first 2 weeks of school. So
wow, that's
we've
amazing.
got 5 new ones in the last 2 years.
And I'm
which is
sure
great.
there's more to come.
I bet.
Do clubs cost anything? Do you have to pay for them?
Yeah, so to be a member of a club, there is a $25 fee. It only gets paid once, so you could be a member of 15 clubs, and it's just the one-time fee, but that just goes in to cover the operating budget for buses when teams have to go places like our, say a club like the chess team that goes to compete. But different clubs do different fundraising opportunities, and then that fee is never a barrier. So if we have a student who's in a difficult situation, we certainly can work around it.
Okay, so it's very accessible.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So you mentioned the chess team. So clubs can sometimes go on field trips?
Yeah, certain clubs compete, and so teams like robotics, math, the chess team, those all operate in our club space,
Okay.
but they also compete and will go to district or regional or even state competitions.
Wow, so there's a lot of traveling involved.
Sometimes.
If you agree to it.
Sometimes.
Wow. Speaking of clubs, this is a little off topic, but our theater department is performing Freaky Friday now, right?
Yeah, they just made a switch last month, right?
It was Grease originally, right?
I believe so.
Okay. When will that be performed?
So they're going to do two. The theater club always does two shows, one in the late fall and one in the springtime. And so I think their Freaky Friday performance is on target for the month of November.
Wonderful. Yeah. Did the auditions already pass? When are the auditions?
I'm not positive just on the timeline, but there's the bulletin board right out front that has all their information.
Oh, wonderful.
And the
so
club
it's possible
advisor,
that people can still sign up?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Now, do you recommend that students at DHS really get involved and get plugged in beyond the 203 bell?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there aren't too many people that are going to have their lasting impression of high school be a specific moment in a specific class or a specific subject. A lot of times it's the connections that you make, whether it be the teacher or with your group of friends in that environment. And so the club activities, our sports, band, like those are all ways for you to increase the amount of positive, emotional relationships and connections that you're having with both friends and advisors. And that's the memories that you're really going to take from this experience. So the more you're involved after hours, the better.
Definitely, I agree with that. And especially with our upperclassmen, I know a big motivation is boosting your college resume. Does being involved in the school really help with your college applications?
Yeah, I think it's a chance to really show a well-rounded portfolio. And so in addition to, just academics, which might be hard to distinguish on paper, if you've got that, that wide breadth of interest and you can show that through the amount of clubs that you've been involved in, I think that's a great way to kind of boost your resume.
And would leadership roles also help that as well? Really taking charge of a club or a team?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of our clubs have some hierarchy or structure where you can be on the board for the club, whether it be like in a president or assistant president or treasurer role for some of the bigger clubs. And so it is a chance for you to exercise, some leadership opportunities and really showcase that. Again, it's also a way to build a really good relationship with another adult, which might come in handy when it comes to writing letters of recommendation or the like. So
definitely so. And the Club and Activities Exhibition, that really helps to make all of that right in front of you so you can see and you can sign up and you can take those first steps.
Yeah, a lot of people have a difficult time if I just told you, like, oh, they meet in room 203, but you don't know the adult, you don't know the kids, you don't know the teacher. And so putting this forward for everybody to kind of get a chance to interact with eliminates some of the the anxiety or the awkwardness around, like, how do I get started? We wanted you to really have a name to a face already and have some of the information.
And it's much more enticing to, like, walk up to this table with this bright poster and, a fellow student there, rather than walking into a classroom or joining a Google Classroom. It makes it way more appealing.
Of course. Yeah, and we actually did something new this year for the first time. So we actually hosted the class of 2027, our freshman class, only during PACE. So it's separate from the lunch expedition. We had it on display earlier in the morning to give that freshman class a chance to kind of interact on their own without the barrier of, being kind of in the shuffle of lunch or in the shuffle of the upperclassmen. So we wanted to give them a chance to really kind of immerse themselves in what opportunities we had. And the clubs did a great job of putting on the display twice.
Because freshmen have been increasingly showing their leadership and involvement.
Yeah, it's great. The faster we can get people in and part of, One Dartmouth, the better. So it's good to see the freshman class coming out.
Well, thank you for being here. This was Tabi 204, Episode 1.